Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Titan with Titans of CNC, and today I'm going to teach you how to program the Titan-4M. All right, so we started off with rectangles, right? The 1M, the 2M, and then we went to a circle, which was the 3M, had an O-ring groove. We've done pockets, we've done threads. Now we're going to go to a triangle, just an odd shape that we're going to have to flip over. Actually cut out the soft jaws, cut off the back, make it perfect. Okay, so it's a triangle, like a big old chunk of cheese. Look at that. Hey, so check this out. See this groove right here? This is the first time we're gonna be actually using a key cutter, and we're gonna come in with the cutter and we're gonna actually undercut this surface and teach you something new in CNC milling. All right, so let's get to programming. All right, so we're gonna come over here. I'm going to hit this bad boy, come down. We're gonna go to cam. All right, so I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna set the job up. Boom. All right, I'm gonna actually move a little bit quicker because now we've programmed 3 different jobs and you guys understand it a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna say Z and X. All right, so now we're on Z. I'm gonna click this bad boy right here. Now we're on X. I'm gonna click this bad boy right here. It is right there. I'm gonna click this guy. I'm gonna say model, box point. And because we're learning through repetition, I'm going to go to the upper left. Boom, right there. My Y is in the right direction. My X is in the right direction. My Z is in the right direction. It looks good. All right, so we're gonna go over here to stock. I'm gonna click this bad boy right here. I'm gonna say add material to all sides. And then I'm gonna say 0.050, 0.050. I'm gonna say 0.025, 0.025. Over here, I'm gonna say 0.230. I'm gonna say 0.020. I'm gonna look down here, I'm gonna see 1/2. And then the X width from here to here is actually 2.33. So in my head, when I cut my material, I wanted it to be 100 thousandths over. So I went 2.43, and then I went a little bit more. So if you actually look at your setup sheets and look at material in the middle towards the top, you'll see 1/2 bar, cut 2.45 plus 30 minus nothing, and we are ready to go. So I'm going to tab down. Everything looks okay. It's 1/2. We're good. I'm going to okay that. All right, so now we are ready to actually do it. So what's tool 1? We're learning through repetition. It is the face mill. All right, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go up. I'm going to say face mill. Again, I'm moving a little bit quicker now, right? Because we've done a few of these things. So I go into building blocks, go over to face mill, say okay. I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to say 4,000. I will speed it up later when we actually cut it, but right now I just want to do it for those that have smaller machines, right? I'm going to say 20 just to be safe. Say 20, 20, 20. Dropping down, I'm going to go 100. Looks good. I'm going to come over here. It already knows what it's trying to cut. So I'm going to click this bad boy right here. We're only taking off 20,000, so 42100. That looks good. As far as all our heights go, I'm going to come over here to our passes. I like to go left to right, so instead of 0, I'm going to go 180. I'm going to drop down here and I'm going to say pass extension because I want the tool to come off the part. I'm going to say 1.6. because it's a 3-inch diameter, so I want it to come at least half the tool off plus a little bit. All right, so that all looks good. I'm gonna click this bad boy up here. Boom, boom, boom. Looks good, looks good, looks good. I don't need this, so I'm just gonna click this guy right here. I'll actually just get rid of these guys because I just want it to come straight down, move over, come straight up. We know it's off already, off the material, so I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna look at it, and you can see like the edge of the material would be like over here, right? And you can see like it is well off. So it drops down here, comes over, lifts up, looks good. All right. So what's the next thing that we do? We're learning through repetition. So follow me. We're going to come over here. We're going to go to adaptive. I'm going to click over here. I'm going to go to a 3/8 diameter tool. So this guy right here. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to 4,000. I'm going to drop down. Boom, boom. I'm going to stay at 25. I'm going to go at 25. 25. Ramp, I'm going to go slower because it's 4,000 RPMs. I'll go 10 right here, and then I'll go 100 here, and we will be good. All right. So then I'm going to come over here. It already knows what it's trying to cut. Everything's good. This arrest machining is good. Come up here to the heights. 4, 2, 0, 0. So this is the bottom. So I'm actually going to cut it, go negative 0.020 just to get it down below right there. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to say optimal. We have a smaller cutter. Before we were using like a 1/2 inch. So I'm actually going to say like 0.075 right here. All right. And that's just going to be a nice light cut. All right. And I'm going to drop down. Boom. That's fine. That's fine. Keep dropping down. Stock to leave. I'm going to say, let's say 5 thousandths. Okay. So 5 thousandths right there. Everything looks good. I'm going to actually machine cavity. Forgot that. Machine cavity right there. And then I'm going to come over here. And then I'm going to maximum stay down distance, 10 inches, that's fine. 70 inches is fine. 500 is too much. So that's kind of like my other standard 500 on some machines. On my SS's it goes a lot faster, 800. So we're going to put that at 100. And then right here, I'm going to make this a little bit tighter. Boom. I'm going to actually hit this guy and I'm actually going to helix it down. I'm going to say 2 degrees. Maybe I'll go 4. And then right here, I'm going to say it's just something small right there. All right, looks good. Everything looks good. I'm going to say okay. It's calculating it up here. Ooh, nice tool path. Look at that. So you can see these little steps up here. See? So it basically walks around, does the entire part. Boom, boom, boom. Comes in here. Ramps all the way to the bottom, cleans it all up, comes up, actually hits these guys on the side, roughs them, leaving 5 thousandths on the surfaces. Part looks great. All right. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in here. I'm going to clean up this bottom surface, take off the 5 thousandths, just make it beautiful. So I'm going to use the same tool, but now I'm going to go pocket. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to actually drop down, pocket. I'm going to select the tool again. Come on, guy. So I'm going to actually select this guy again. I'm going to say OK. It's already at 4,000, 25. Actually, you know what? I might slow it down. Let me slow it down just because it's 4,000 RPMs. So I'm going to go 20. Let's make it a beautiful finish. I'm just going to go there. There's no material. And then I'm going to come up here. And I'm going to turn this guy off because it's not going to read it. It's not 3D. It's going to only do this guy down here. So now I'm going to select this guy, do the inside. So I want to make sure that I don't make a mistake. I could do down here also. I'm going to do right here. Boom. All right. So I'm going to come up here and then we're good. We're good. We're good. Down here, I'm going to say selection. I'm going to select the bottom down here because that's the pocket. We're cleaning up the pocket on the bottom. All right. Get rid of this guy. All right. It looks good. All right. So what we want to do is we just want to clean up this pocket. I'm going to stay off the wall. And then I'm going to come in with cutter comp because you can't use cutter comp on a pocket because it's technically like a roughing cycle, right? So then I'm going to go in with a 2D later and I'm actually contour this. I'm gonna put cutter comp on it so I can just make it perfect and the outside and all that. But right now it's just the pocket. So that looks good. I'm gonna come down here, left. There's no comp, so I'm not worried about it over here. I'm gonna just go like maybe 300 thousandths over, and everything's looking good. I'm gonna say stock to leave. So on radio, I'm gonna leave 5 thousandths, but on axial, I'm going to clean it all the way up. All right, so I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna drop down, safe distance, that's fine. Boom, 2 inches, that's fine. Drop down, come in here. Just say, yeah, maybe like 30 thousandths, maybe a 45.030. Vertical, walking in, no problem. Over here though, I'm going to plunge because there's no material, and then it will actually walk into that 5 thousandths, no issues whatsoever. Put that small little guy right there. All right, I think it looks good. So I'm gonna say okay. It's calculating it. There you go, came down, did this little guy right here, walked over, went around, and actually came out. Coming into a sharp corner, it's good that I actually went a little bit slower with the feed 20 inches per minute, just so that it doesn't like burp too hard. All right, so that looks great. So now basically I'm going to use the same tool, but now I'm going to start finishing everything that we already did. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click this guy, I'm going to say 2D. I'm going to say the same exact tool, but I'm just going to select it. I'm going to say okay, and then it's already at 4,000. I'm going to keep it at 20, 20, 20, 20, boom, boom. That all looks great. Now, what are we going to clean up first? Since we're already in here, let's just stay in here and actually clean this up. All right. So I click that bad boy right there. I'm going to come over here, exactly the same, but now I'm going to say selection. I'm going to click that guy. And now we're not going to leave any material anywhere. So I'm going to come over here, cutter comp. I'm going to say where. That all looks good. That all looks good. Everything looks good. Stock to leave, none. Come over here. I'm going to drop down. Everything looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Maybe change this to like, I'll do 45. Drop down. Everything looks good. So let's see it. Boom. Nice little path. Drops in. Boom. Boom. Just comes into that cut. I like it. I like it. I like it. You know, if a line mattered, I could actually change this up, right? So if it bothered me that there was a line there, I could actually like click over here and have it start here. But for this one, because it's actually doing a pretty good job, I'm going to leave it alone. All right. So next thing we're going to do is go around the outside. So just to make it quick, I'm going to right hand click this guy. I'm going to say duplicate, and then boom, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to right click again. I'm going to say edit. Now what's different? This is all the same, but now this is different. So I'm going to get rid of this guy. I'm actually going to come and do these guys. So I'll hit this guy. I'll hit this guy. I'll actually hit this guy. I'll come over here. I'll get rid of this selection and actually hit that surface, because I'm just going to walk around, and walk around and clean that up. All right. So that all looks good. Everything else should be exactly the same. So I'm just going to click this guy. Boom. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So it drops in, just arcs in, arcs around, comes in, comes out. Nice. No big cuts banging into it. I think I like that pass. All right, what do you guys think? Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do it one more time. So I'm going to click this guy. I right clicked it. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to say duplicate. I'm going to hit this guy, right click again, edit again. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to get rid of all of these guys. And then I'm actually going to come up and click the top one to make sure I get the absolute outside. And then basically now I'm going to go to the bottom. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to actually go bottom. I'm going to say negative 0.010 for my finish pass. Looks good. Makes sense. Tab over, come up here. Everything's going to be exactly the same. Everything's going to be exactly the same. Say OK. I'm going to look at it. Oh, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. Boom. Same thing. If I wanted to start this somewhere else, I could, but it actually looks good. So what is the next tool? We're going to go to the key cutter, tool 3. All right. It doesn't matter if this is tool 1, tool 3, all that stuff does not matter because we're just going to change the tooling later. Okay. So right now we're going to come up here. We're going to treat the key cutter. Now you guys have done this for a while, right? You guys understand that all you do basically is click lines, and depending on the diameter of the tool, it will offset the center and actually run around the path that you gave it, right? It's pretty easy. So if it's a 3/8 cutter, then this line right here is going to be 187.5 off the side, right? If this was a 1/2 cutter, that'd be 250, right? So on the 1-inch diameter key cutter, it's actually going to be 500. And it doesn't understand that the key cutter, is kind of shaped odd, actually, let's go grab it. So it doesn't understand. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to go tool. I'm going to go building blocks. Drop down to the bottom. Grab this guy. I'm going to say okay. All right, now it doesn't know. It knows, but it doesn't care. See how it's opened over here? And so for all it knows, it just has a big diameter going all the way up. It doesn't matter. I know. And I know that I just need this bottom to actually go to this bottom. And then I just need to know my speeds and feeds, and I need to make sure I come outside the part, walk in and walk out, right? So key cutters have more flutes. They're a bigger diameter. So you usually go less RPMs because of the bigger diameter at its outside. It's actually moving faster than a small tool, right? Let's just make this happen, okay? So this thing's kind of whacked out. I'm just gonna go 20. You got a nice tool, so I'm just gonna go 2500 right here. I'm going to actually come down. I'm just gonna go nice and slow, so I'm gonna go to 15 just because this is education. All right, so we're gonna come down here. Let's say 15. This doesn't even matter, but I'm going to say 15 and I'm going to say 100 right here. And then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click this guy. It says nothing. Now I have to click what we're actually machining. So I'm clicking this line, clicking this line, clicking this line, and then we're moving on. So those are my tool paths. So I'm going to click this guy up here. Now everything looks good, but I'm going to say selection. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to actually click this guy right there. So it's the bottom of that. And it looks perfect. It looks perfect. All right. So let me come back up here. I'm going to come down. Boom, boom. Everything looks good. I'm going to actually do wear and do cutter comp. I'm going to drop down 15. It looks good. I'm actually going to leave material, but I'm not going to leave material on the bottom because I want this surface to actually have a nice finish right here. So I'm actually going to leave 5 thousandths on the radial, and I'm going to get rid of the axial for this part. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to drop down. Everything looks great, looks great, looks great. 100 thousandths lead in. I'm going to go say 45. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So 0.2, 0.2. Vertical, I'm going to get rid of this because it doesn't matter. And I'm going to say OK. All right, so you see like it drops down well outside the part. It looks good. If I want to like simulate this, I want to double check something. So I'm going to go, I went there, I went there, I went there, went there, went there. All right, if I want to double check it, I can just right hand right here and come down to simulate. I can actually hit this guy right here and watch my tool. Boom. Yep, looks good. Okay, so the key cutter is done, but we left some material, so let's just do something super simple. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate it. I'm gonna drop down. I'm going to right click this guy, and then I'm going to go into edit. I'm going to come over, and all I'm going to do is come over here, and I'm going to unclick this guy and just say OK. And basically it's just going to give me my finish pass. So then it was like there, and then it was a finish pass right there. I'm not worried about going fast on the roughing because I just want you guys to learn the technique. Later on, when I actually machine it, I'll speed it up and we'll show you what these machines can actually get done, how fast. All right. So what's the next thing we're going to do? We are going to tool 4, and that's a chamfer mill. Okay. So I'm going to come up, grab this guy right here. I'm going to drop down to chamfer right here. I'm going to go grab my tool. Boom. I'm going to come back to building blocks. I'm actually going to drop down to this guy. I'm going to say OK. So I'm going to start right at 4,000. I'm going to tab down. I'm going to say 20. That's fine. Say 20. That's fine. 20. That's fine. 20. That's fine. 100 right there. Boom. What's the first thing that we're going to do? I'm going to click this guy, this line up here on the top, and that's it. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say my heights. My heights is already solid. Boom, boom, boom. Model top, model top, model top. Remember what I said, like you can click it, you can right click it, you can make it your defaults. That's why it's always perfect. Not always perfect, but that's why mine are kind of in sync. All right. So 0, that's fine. Then I'm going to come over here. My chamfer width, I'm going to say 0 because it already is at where it needs to be. I'm going to say 50 thousandths, and that's my tip offset. My clearance, there's nothing up here I'm worried about, so I'm just not going to worry about it. And that looks good. So I'm going to come over here. And actually, you know what? I don't think I clicked. So I clicked that guy, but I actually want to do this guy also. So I'm going to click this guy. See what I did? I looked and I was like, oh, I went too fast. I only clicked this one. I forgot to click this one. So on this one, my arrow's out here. It's going in the right direction. This one, my arrow's in here going in the right direction. Why do it 2 times? Let's just do it 1 time. All right. So I come back over here. Everything looks good. Come over here. Just start dropping down. Boom, boom, boom. Let's say like 30, 45, 30. Don't need it. I'm going to go right there. And boom, 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 all the way down. Everything looks good. I'm going to say okay. And starts right there. Yeah, no problem. So that looks great. Again, if I want to start here, I could start here, but it's just not going to matter because it's making a nice clean out. so it's not going to leave a line. All right, so how's it look? Looks good? Okay, so now we have some 1032 threads, so I'm going to basically countersink these guys right here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the same tool, but now I'm going to go to drilling. I'm going to say select. I'm going to actually come up here and grab this same tool. I'm going to say okay. It's already at 4,000. I'm just going to go, I'll go 10, 10, 10. None of this matters, but I just like it clean. So I'm just going to go 10, 10, 10. It's just going to go boop right there. All right, so I'm going to click this guy right here. It automatically just selected all three of them. I'm going to say we are good to go. I'm going to go to the next one over here. Model top, model top, model top, model top, 0, model top. All right, so and then how deep do we want to go? So I like it to be about 10%, so it's 190 diameter, so 0.190. That's a 1032 thread, the diameter. So you'd add 19 thousandths to that, so that would be 209. So we will just call it 210, and we'll say half of that would be 105. So I'm just going to go negative 0.105. Looks good right there. You can see it. You can see it. It just kissed it. Like, look at that. Oh, it's so good. So good. All right. So there's different ways to do it. That's just, that was nice and easy. So drilling, I'm going to call that good. I'm just going to drill that bad boy. Boom. Right there. All right. So next thing we have to do is we're going to actually drill out these holes right here. So I'm going to actually go over to my print. It says 375 deep, and I'm going to go ahead and go grab my drill. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to say select tool, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say building blocks, come down. We're going to go to the 177 drill for a roll or form tap, which is what we're doing. Nice and clean. And spindle speed is at 4,000. That's good. And 16, that's good. Everything looks good. This probably could go up a little bit, but I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to come over here. There's nothing selected. I'm just going to select that guy. Boom, 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 all the way around. Right here, it was click, same diameter. So then I'm going to come over here, and it's going to basically be the same thing. Model top, model top, model top. I'm going to come down here. I'm actually going to say same thing. I'm going to say model top, but I'm going to go negative 0.575. I'm going to tab through it. That looks good. The depth looks good. I like it. I'm going to come up here. Instead of drilling, I'm actually going to go deep drilling, full retract, and then I'm going to put my pec. That's actually fine right there. So I'm just going to leave it alone, and I'm going to say okay. Boom. Nice. We love it. So next thing I'm going to do is basically I just have to tap it, right? So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to duplicate this toolpath. I could have done it last time, but I'm going to right click again. I'm going to edit this guy. I'm going to go get a different tool. I'm going to come to the building blocks library. You guys all have it. If you don't have it, then make sure you download it from our academy, and then you can follow along. It just sits inside your Fusion 360. Pretty awesome. So I'm going to come down here. This is our guy right here. Boom. I'm going to say okay. 500, 500 is fine. I'm actually just going to go 300 just to slow it down just a little bit. All right. Usually like I'm at like 1,000, 2,000, depending on what the thread is and stuff, but this is good for now. I'm going to come over here. It's the same exact holes. I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to say negative 0.475. That means you have a 100,000ths lead, meaning the narrow part of your tap to its full diameter, and where the thread is at its fullness would be 100,000ths. If you guys put your tap on a comparator and it's more, then adjust this accordingly to go shallower or deeper. All right, but 100,000ths is just kind of a typical, keeps you safe. All right, so now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go right-handed tap. Everything looks good. I'm going to say okay. Boom. We are done. Check that out. So I can come over here. Actually, let's go up and actually manage our tools. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to click this guy. The tools are out of order, but I'm going to click this guy right here. It says 1, incrementing 1. I like it. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to X out of it. Boom. Now you can see my face mills 1, 2 is the adaptive pocket, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. So I can actually come over here. Everything is good. This is our face mill. Looks good. I'm going to come. This is our end mill. Boom. Adaptive pocket. Clean up, clean up, clean up. And then we went to the key cutter. Boom. Then went to the finished key cutter. Boom. Same tool. Then we went to the chamfer. Then we went to the chamfer, same thing, tool 4. Boom. And then we went to the drill. And then we went to the tap. And it all looks good. We're ready to do some CNC machining. So I'm just going to click over here. I'm actually going to come down. I'm going to double check all my tools. And here you really got to look at it. Double check. Make sure that you have everything dialed. This is the time where you can make corrections and catch crashes before they happen. All right. So I'm going to put on the stock right here. I'm actually going to, what color should we go? Ceramic. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. All right, so I'm going to press go. There's the face mill. End mill coming around. It's looking good. Looking good. How about we speed this up just a little bit? All right, boom. Nice. There's a tool path. I can see it. Like, I'm not crashing, right? So, boom, all the way in. Dun, 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 dun. Coming in. Nice. 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 Oh, key cutter. Oh, key cutter. Oh, 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 nice. Drilling. 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 We're drilling. We're tapping. We are done, ready to post, and we are ready to go. All right, so that is it. The Titan 4M is done. It looks good, and we are off. Titans of CNC Academy. Boom.